What up, my man in society? It is your host with the most, Shadowlow, back at you with another video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. It's absolutely free. That is how you help my channel get into the algorithm. Highly appreciate if you go ahead and do that. Don't cost a damn thing. Join the madness. Now, what I wanted to get into was actually, I had did a video, right, the other day about, con artists and how they, grab an audience, right, grip these individuals and lie to them and, in order for them to, pretty much, get their money, right, by feeding into their insecurities, right, whether it be, confidence or relationship-wise, right. And I noticed that most of these individuals tell the same story over and over again, right. They go about it, roughly around the same way, right, how, it's a man's world and how, we're the dominant ones here and that, how you should just, be so recklessly, right? How you should carry yourself so recklessly, right? All this bunch of crap, right? That's just really not going to help these individuals in any way, right? At all, because what these individuals, even though they have success financially wise or maybe relationship wise, right? How they obtain those things is never truly said, right? They're the masters of liars and manipulators, right? They con these women, so they don't really carry themselves how they say they carry themselves when they're approaching women for a relationship, right? Or to get a woman's number or anything like that, right? They actually do the complete opposite of that, right? But they're not going to put that out there, right? Because it's going to show them as, I guess, quote-unquote weak in their eyes, I guess, right? So they tell them instead a whole bunch of lies and how that seemed to have worked for them, right? But then individuals try it and it doesn't work for them because that's not actually how they obtain these women, right? So therefore, of course, it's not right. They're not going to tell you what it truly is, right? Or how they facade it, right? But, another thing, is that they, put too much emphasis on how, how it's all about looks and, wealth, right? You see that there's people that obtain, wealth, right? They have a nice home and everything and are still lonely, still seem to can't get a relationship, right? And these individuals, are frustrated because, they feel like they've done everything right in life and yet they still get screwed over, right? Like, how is it that no woman pays attention to them even though they obtain, a great job and a house and everything like that, right? And that's all because all these things tell you everything except what it truly is, right? You have to have confidence in yourself, right? If you want to make a relationship work or be able to obtain a relationship, right? Because that's truly what it is, right? Everybody wants companionship in this world. Nobody wants to be left alone in this world. Nobody wants to feel like they got nobody, right? That's the reason why you have these gang members or serial killers or mass shooters or people that do drugs, right? But people that feel like they got nobody, right? Those are the people that are the angriest, right? Even though people say that they don't mind being alone or that there's nothing better, it's all lies. Nobody truly wants to be alone, right? Of course, it's going to be their defense to make it seem, to comfort their situation, right? But they truly don't feel like that, right? Because us as humans, right, we're very emotional creatures, right? So we need companionship. We need to be able to express ourselves. That's just within human nature, right? Despite however people want to look at it, I mean, you can argue with the evidence, right? But it all starts with yourself, right? It starts in building confidence in yourself, right? Understanding that there's nothing wrong with you, understanding that, that you will find somebody, right? And first, loving yourself without actually having to change things that you actually like about yourself, right? Like, some of these things, like these individuals, they get all shredded and, they go and get all this expensive stuff, trying to facade it, right? But they're still unhappy because they felt like they had to change everything that they liked about themselves. So even though they obtain now, I guess what they were seeking, they're still unhappy, right? Because they essentially feel like they're not truly who they say they are, right? Like they feel like it's just a lie, right? And they're still having to live with that, right? And because in all true reality, you shouldn't have to change, the good things that you like about yourself, right? And the reason why people, even though, if I would have stayed the way I was, I'm not going to be able to find somebody, is actually not true. People see it that way, right? Because they lack the confidence in themselves, right? So therefore, they can't see that when somebody's actually interested in them or actually somebody's, looking to, probably bond with them or, or build something with them, right? Because they lack the confidence in themselves that they can't see why would this person actually be into me, right? So therefore, they start building walls, and you know, they start making the situation more difficult for themselves, for people to try to actually you know, like be able to, you know, bond with an individual, right? It's almost like they're trying, right? But these people are just pushing them away without even realizing it, right? Because of the lack of the confidence in themselves, right? And the lack of confidence tends to, you know, come from, you know, childhood, you know what I mean? Maybe they were neglected. Maybe they were verbally abused a lot, right? Maybe they were always told that they're not good for nothing, or they felt like they were never good for something, right? They never got no praise, no love, you know what I mean? So, you know, growing up without that, you know, they're going to tend to see the world in a different way than most, right? They're actually going to start believing all the stuff that's being told to them, right? You know, not understanding that it could be that their parents were just horrible people, right? You know, I mean, that does happen, right? Like, it's not so much that there's something wrong with you, right? Like, but it was implanted in you by these people who were not the best of people, right? And you see that on the internet too, right? You see a lot of people criticizing people and making fun of them and stuff like that. Doesn't make it true what they're saying, right? But just because they're looking to put you down, right? Not necessarily that it's true, right? But they're just looking to want to put you down, right? So, you know, people, you know, now adding that to what they're always told, it only makes them believe the lie even more, right? But like I said, it doesn't make it true just because, you know, people are saying it, right? You know, because like I said, bro, like, don't worry about the opinion of others. You know, they're just as miserable or even more, right? That's why they want to bring everybody to their level, right? Like, if I'm not happy, then why should everybody else be happy, right? Like, if I have to live life like this, then I'm gonna make everybody, you know, be on my level, right? So they're just people that are just, you know, wanting to create chaos, right? Because they want everyone to feel how they feel. So don't ever let the opinions of other people get to you, especially on the internet, right? And like I said, there's somebody out there for everybody. You know what I mean? You just have to have confidence in yourself that there's nothing wrong with you, right? And that you should be how you want to be, you know, and you should never have to change for nobody, right? Unless it's like some bad habits, right? Then that's understandable, right? But like, meaning like, you know, any other things that brings you joy, right? Maybe some hobbies or anything like that, right? You'll find somebody, you know, who could dig that, you know? It's not so much that there's something wrong with you, right? But just of the perspective of how the world carries itself, right? In this illusion that, you know, that it's all about looks, right? Because it's not, right? You should be into somebody because of how they are, not how they look. You know what I mean? Because looks could only take you so far. You know, you don't have to be, you know, spending your life with this person, right? And if you don't like the person, if you don't like how they are, but just into their looks, right, it's never going to be able to work, regardless of how great looking they are. You know, you got to like somebody for how they truly are. And, you know, most people, you know, in fact, they actually worry about the opinion of others. Like, oh, what would people think about, you know, my partner? You know what I mean? What if they make fun of me? What if they think this and that? Like I said, if you're willing to destroy or, you know, fuck up something you have going on just to get the approval of people you don't even know, who don't even give a fuck about you, who are irrelevant in the game of life, then your priorities are in the wrong place. Don't worry about the world. Worry about what makes you happy. Everybody else's opinions are irrelevant in the game of life. You gotta do what truly makes you happy, and not what truly makes everyone else happy. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, because those who, you know, choose to want to come and make fun of others and stuff like that, those are really the people who live miserable lives, right? Like, imagine that, you know, constantly worried about somebody else and what they're doing, right? Or who they're dating or who they're sleeping with, right? While you're actually just living life and not even paying shit no mind, right? Because it's all going gravy. Like I said, do you. Do what makes you happy. Don't worry about people saying that you gotta look like this guy, you don't gotta look like that guy, you gotta have this, you gotta have that. You don't have to have none of that shit. You know what I mean? Those people are full of shit. You know what I mean? The poorest man could be richer than the richest man. Right? A poor man could have something that a rich man wants. Just give that some thought. But I'm just saying, you know, these are my thoughts. Shadow, we up.